He is the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, appearing as such right here on the Rich Eisen Show for the very first time. We appreciate Liam Coen joining us here on the program. Good to see you, Coach. How are you?
Great, Rich. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Listen, how does it feel to be an HC in the league? Just to take a second. I know you're getting ready for your first preseason game. You're in the midst of everything going on, but does it hit you at any point in time here, Coach?
Actually, it was a pretty cool moment the other night. We had the scrimmage in the stadium the other night, and my dad had an opportunity to walk in the coach's locker room with us and into that area where I have my own office, obviously in the locker room. And he just kind of had a moment where he's like, man, how cool is this? I'm really proud of you. And that was just one of those moments that you don't take those moments very often, especially at this point where you haven't gone and won a game. You haven't really done anything to truly prove it yet. But ultimately, it was a cool moment between a father and a son, and ultimately a guy that coached me my entire life. So that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, not bad for a Rhode Island kid, huh? Right there in Florida, right there in Central
That's right.
Florida. How did you get started in coaching? How did this all get rolling for you?
So my grandfather was a coach. He was at Brown University. Gosh, I don't know what the years were, but my dad was a Division III college head coach at Salve Regina. He started that program in '92 in a small school in Rhode Island. He was a high school coach my entire life as well. And so once the playing days were over at UMass, ended up getting a great opportunity. Mark Whipple actually made a phone call to Phil Estes, who was the head coach at Brown University at the time. And I was able to get an entry-level position coaching the quarterbacks, I think making about $15,000, no benefits, and you're getting coffee, you're the video coordinator, you're coaching the quarterbacks, you're doing all the grunt work, and ultimately that's the start of it all. And I kind of bounced around in the Northeast there and FCS schools, and got the opportunity to go to the Rams in 2018 to be with Sean.
Yeah, I guess how much of McVay is in you, Liam? Because he's got a heck of a coaching tree for somebody who's not even 40 yet, right? So I'm just wondering how, because again, James Gladstone's now the GM there. There's a lot of Rams going on there in Jaguar country right now.
Yeah, Sean made such an impact on me. Still does to this day with the conversations that we had, really going throughout this process, throughout the season last year in Tampa, but also throughout the head coaching search, the process. So much of our culture and so much of the things that we end up doing here in terms of the way that we want to communicate with each other, the respect that we have between player to coach, coach to player, staff to staff, everybody in the building. A lot of that comes from Sean and from the building that I was in LA for 2018, really through 2020, was one of the more infectious buildings I've ever been in. And, Sean, he has that ability to elevate people with his presence, with his energy, with his words. And that was something at my first few years in LA that I felt from him was, man, you don't do this to get a pat on the back as a coach, right? You do your job, you kind of stay in your lane, and you put your head down and work. And he kind of showed a different side of the person of being a coach, and how we can kind of connect with people, both your staff, your players, everybody in the building in a different way. And it kind of opened my eyes to say, man, like, we can say we appreciate one another. We can say you're doing a great job. And all it did was make me want to work harder for him. And that was pretty sustained throughout my time with him.
And now, obviously, it's time to start tilling your current field, right? Liam Coen, right, head coach of the Jaguars here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's get to what's on your plate right now. And clearly, I'm sure, in your meetings with the Khan family to get the gig and to talk about the gig, it's a plan for Trevor Lawrence. Where are we in this process of you getting to know him, attached at the hip? This is it, right, for you and the Jaguars coach quarterback combination here?
Absolutely. On my interview, actually in person, had an opportunity to sit down with Trevor quickly, and that was really where it all started. And then you fast forward to really the last two practices. If you go to our scrimmage under the lights the other night, and then our practice yesterday, saw major improvements from Trevor really since getting into this system, right? As Rich, like, it's Sean, the system, it's not the easiest to learn, right? There's a lot of different complications in terms of the motions, the shifts, the cans, the amount that we do end up putting on the quarterback ultimately, and not just the quarterback, but the entire unit of itself. And so he's starting to see it before it occurs now. The motions and shifts and alignments are all starting to become second nature for him. And now you're starting to see that talent just go out and be on display. And so is it perfect every day? No. And that's the beauty of it, is that he's learning every single day, and we're learning about him every single day. But the guy is mentally and physically tough. And you can always start with that. The great ones are always mentally and physically tough that I've been around, at least. And so you can always start there. And he's talented, and he wants to be good. He wants to be great. And so I've been really pleased with him over the last few practices, especially.
So what do you think he can get better at? What do you think?
Yeah, I think just getting the ball out on time and in rhythm, but also, okay, number one's not open in my progression or my read, moving on. Right, moving on, playing in rhythm, but maybe that's not to the number one or the number two receiver in the read. How do we progress through the concept, through the read, while staying in rhythm so that the ball is still coming out in a timely manner? So that means your footwork, your eyes, your rhythm. When you do progress, staying in that rhythm and not being able to have wasted movements in the pocket. All of those things, making sure that we're set when we're throwing to our left, making sure that we're set when we're throwing to our right so that the ball can come out when you want it. We try to coach the quarterback a lot like a boxer, right? You always got to be in a position to throw a punch. Same thing with the quarterback. You've always got to be in a position, regardless of what that truly always looks like. It may not always be the same, but to get the ball out and to throw it on time and accurately. So I think those are some of the things that he can continue to work on, that he is working hard at. And just getting chemistry with some of these new young receivers that we have. He actually has obviously some rapport with BT, but a lot of new for him at the tight end and receiver position.
Well, let's talk about BT a little bit. Liam Coen, Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, referring to Brian Thomas. You've been around some great receivers. Obviously, last year, Tampa, Rams, your couple stints there. How good is this kid? Can you comp him? What do you got for me?
Yeah, so different, because he has some of the ability to win vertically, as Mike Evans has in his career, where he can truly run right by you. If you are playing off thirds or off quarters or man coverage, he can run right by you. But also his ability at the first and second level to get in and out of breaks for a bigger dude is different, right? Where he's built similar in terms of the length of Mike Evans, but Cooper Kupp, the guys that we had, Robert Woods, that were able to get in and out of breaks on some of those choice routes, option routes, to where that's the separation that gets created on those third downs, right? It used to be third and Kupp, right? Every third down was a choice or option route.
Third and Kupp, I love it.
He has it, right? He does have that ability to get parallel, to get to the line of scrimmage, but also you can throw him screens and he can go do something with it. I've been really pleased with him. Great dude, wants to be great, has taken all the coaching, and I've been really pleased with him so far.
Well, let's get into this Liam Coen here, because I've been kind of holding back asking you about this in the very beginning, because I'm obsessed with Travis Hunter. So is pretty much America. Let's be honest, okay? And you have quite an opportunity here. You are the guardian of this. You know exactly where I'm going on this, and as a guy who's been following the NFL for as long as I have, I've never seen anybody with an opportunity to do what he has the physical and even better mental capability to do. The smarts to pull off going into multiple meeting rooms with people he's trying to beat in practice and then become teammates with on the weekend, okay? I've never seen anything like this. This is now in your hands. What is your plan to play Travis Hunter on both sides of the football in the NFL, Liam Coen?
It's absolutely happening. I mean, it is. This spring was a great learning curve for us, where you've got to have everybody on board. Everybody in the building was on board with, how do we get the best out of Travis's days, and how do we make the most out of his time and our time as coaches and support staff and athletic training, sports science, equipment, strength and conditioning. Everybody's been on board with this from the beginning, right? Fast forward to now, where he has taken massive strides specifically at the receiver position, of truly playing it, right? The how to run each route, how to attack leverage. His ball skills and body control are extremely natural. Extremely natural. You can't really coach that. What he's been able to learn in getting aligned, assignments, fundamentals, techniques. And then when you go into a scrimmage and he gets one-on-one on a choice route and he's got a linebacker on him and he can make you miss in space and he can go do something with it. And just the energy, Rich, right? The energy that he provides, the type of confidence that he does exude, that, it comes from a cool place where it's almost youth-like, but he's also extremely mature for somebody his age to have gone through what he's gone through to get to where he's gone, the path that he's taken to get here. It's pretty cool to see, right? And these guys, they challenge him, right? They challenge him every day, both on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. They're chirping at him, and it's friendly, great competition. It's healthy, but yeah, Travis is definitely somebody that's been really fun to work with so far.
I'm sure. My goodness, what an opportunity here for you, the team, for him, for his teammates, and for the league, and for fans. Yeah. And have you reached out to Prime at all, Dion? You ever had any conversations with him at all?
Oh, I haven't. Tony Baselli has.
Okay.
Like, obviously with the
you hooked up at the Jackets. You hooked up at the Jackets and the bus. Okay.
Guys.
Okay.
Those guys have. So
anything you can share? Anything you can share?
Just the confidence that Coach Prime had given us about him, just like how confident he was that he can do this, was pretty telling, right? I mean, at no point was it ever, he's talented, but this is going to be something that, he may struggle with, or this is what he may struggle with, or that. It was, man, he can do this. And that was just cool to hear from a guy that obviously you have a ton of respect for, playing the game at a high level, and obviously in the same profession and coaching at a high level as we are, is hearing somebody as confident that they have a relationship that's extremely strong. It's a bond that's real. Travis has so much respect for Coach Prime, and you can tell it goes both ways. So to hear that, to hear Travis, the way he speaks about him, and obviously Coach Prime having some health issues over the last few months,
yes,
how much that is obviously not weighed on Travis, but he cares. He cares a lot about him, and you can see the person in Travis show up a lot, and the young man when he talks about Prime.
Well, I was delighted to see at your practice, your evening in front of 11,000 people at Everbank, that we saw 38 snaps out of Travis Hunter. Yeah. 17 with the first team O, 21 with the first team D. All of us in the media were trying to get you to put a number here. Do you have a number? Do you have a number, like a sweet spot number for the number of snaps you can get out of him week one, and then maybe work him in later in the season? Do you have?
Yeah, I think
does one exist?
It's a hard number to probably come up. If you're saying you're going to play 65 to 75 snaps on offense, let's call it, right?
Yeah.
And if he's playing 80% of those snaps or so, and then similar, defensively, and you look at trying to be able to match that number as much as possible.
Okay.
It's
sure.
Ultimately for him, it's really going to come down to offensively and defensively. We've done more offense because that was where more of the development was necessary, right? So much more naturally to just go walk out in the field and play corner. Like, that's what he's done. He can go do that very similarly. Now there's a lot of checks, there's a lot of calls, there's a lot of different things that go to that. But offensively, we felt like there was a little bit more development that was necessary. And it's a lot more ball, right? Just a lot more scheme and words and calls. And so he has done every single day, Rich, is completely packed from the moment that he arrives to the moment he leaves, with making sure that he is meeting with somebody at all times. And so I've been really pleased with the staff, our staff in general, and his work ethic. You want to play him as much as we can, though, Rich. That's the reality.
I love it. I can't tell you how. Honestly, you have an opportunity here for the entire league to be zeroed in. And I know it's 53. I get it. We're talking rosters. It's a team. I haven't even mentioned defense. We had Josh Hines-Allen here in this chair a couple of weeks ago. He's dynamite. I mean, you got some great people on everywhere. But This is what an opportunity here, and the neat thing is he wants to do it, and I'm wondering, have you had to pull him back at any point in time? It's so far you had to have, I imagine, right?
I mean, he wants more.
I bet. Well,
every single day.
What about what about your staff? Have you had to basically like say, hey, let's all play along here. You're gonna get him. You're gonna get him here. You're gonna get him there. Like,
oh yeah, there's definitely days, especially early on, where we're getting to know him before we became a little bit more concrete. Maybe in our scheduling for him was definitely okay. He would do some really positive things on one side of the ball or the other, and there was definitely some arguments about who would have him maybe the next day. And we came to a pretty fair conclusion for training camp of making sure that it was darn near almost equal with reps on both offense and defense. So that's been the cool part, is to be able to see him go and be able to do it, obviously within a scrimmage, within a practice, but also this is like normal for him, Rich, right? Like he's been doing this. It's harder on us in terms of just logistically, like processing, getting them the quality work without overdoing it. But the guy's, his ability to run for a long time and his ability to be conditioned is pretty unique. And so he's just kind of used to it. It's normal for him. So like when he finishes a rack with the offense and he's on offense that day, like he's hitting me like, dude, coach, let me go over the defense. Let me go. I'm like, relax. Like, tomorrow.
It's July.
Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow.
You know what I mean?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. God, awesome.
Pretty cool.
I can't, honestly, as you can tell, I cannot get enough of how you might use him and how he might look and how. Last one for you on this, and then I'll let you go on your day here. Do you think he can be offensive and defensive rookie of the year in the same year?
Ooh.
What do you think? What do you think?
I do think it's possible. He is committed, man. Like he is committed to driving not just himself, but his teammates as well. And I think that his teammates, you spoke of Josh Hines-Allen,
yes, sir.
You speak of Trayvon Walker, you speak of Foye, Tyson Campbell, I mean, Jordan Lewis from Dallas. Like these guys are challenging him every single day. Like he doesn't get a free pass because he was the second overall pick and he's Travis Hunter. Like they are in his grill, trying to jam him up, trying to hem him up, trying to make it as hard as they can possibly make it for him in a great way, like in the most healthy way as possible, where they're going at it and chirping at each other. But it's truly, guys, iron sharpening iron. That's what it feels like. And I wouldn't expect anything less from those guys. And so they've all been on board in terms of, hey, man, they think he can do it as well, but they're going to make him earn it as well in this building.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it's going to go when Carolina faces against him, right? Like, right. J.C. Horn's not going to give him a little pat on the back. You know what I mean?
No, he's not going to be like, hey, man, this is cool what you're doing.
Yeah,
like, like they're going to say, no, dude, you can't do this. And that's the beauty of it. So, I think he's definitely driven to do it for the right reasons.
What a pleasure chatting. Congrats on the gig. Congrats on what you got there in front of you. Look forward to seeing what you can do there in the AFC South and beyond, and look for more of my calls. Coach, appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Rich. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. That's Liam Coen, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, right here on the Rich Eisen Show.